The Hidden Warrior. The story of Gideon. Story. In a small village called Ophrah, a young man named Gideon lived quietly, hiding grain inside a winepress so that the enemies, the Midianites, would not steal it. For 7 long years, the Midianites had oppressed Israel. They destroyed crops, took cattle, and made the Israelites live in fear. Every day felt like a battle of survival. One afternoon, while Gideon was working in fear, a bright figure appeared near the oak tree. It was the angel of the Lord. He looked at Gideon and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon was shocked. He looked around to see if someone else was being addressed. How could he be a warrior? He felt weak and insignificant. Gideon replied, "If God is with us, why has all this happened? Where are the miracles we heard from our ancestors?" The angel said gently, "Go in the strength you have. You will save Israel from the Midianites." Gideon felt fear filling his heart, but the angel's words planted a spark of courage. That night, God gave Gideon his first task: to tear down his father's altar of Baal and the pole of Asherah beside it. Gideon was afraid of the villagers, so he took 10 servants and did it secretly at night. When the villagers discovered it the next morning, they were furious. But Gideon stood firm, and his father defended him, saying, "If Baal is a god, let him defend himself." From that day, Gideon's courage began to grow. Soon, the Midianites and their allies gathered to attack Israel once again. Gideon blew a trumpet, calling men from tribes around him to join the battle. But his heart still doubted. He asked God for a sign using a fleece of wool. One night he asked for the fleece to be wet while the ground stayed dry. God did it. The next night he asked for the reverse, the fleece dry and the ground wet. God did it again. Gideon finally believed that God was truly with him. 32,000 men joined Gideon's army. But God said, "You have too many. If you win with this many men, you will think you did it by your strength." Gideon watched as 22,000 fearful men were sent home. Only 10,000 remained. But again, God said, "Still too many." God told Gideon to take the men to the river. Those who drank water by lifting it with their hands were chosen. Only 300 men did that. 300 against thousands. Any normal leader would panic, but Gideon trusted God. That night, God told Gideon to go to the Midianite camp. When he did, he overheard a soldier telling a dream. A loaf of bread rolled into their camp and destroyed their tent. His friend interpreted it, "This can only mean Gideon will defeat us." Gideon returned with renewed strength. God had already prepared the enemy's fear. Gideon divided the 300 men into 3 groups. He gave each man a trumpet, a jar, and a torch hidden inside the jar. At midnight, they surrounded the enemy camp. At Gideon's signal, they broke the jars, held up the torches, and blew the trumpets. The mountains echoed with the shout, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." The Midianites were terrified. In confusion, they attacked each other and fled. With just 300 men, Gideon defeated an army that looked impossible to overcome. The people celebrated him, but Gideon remained humble. He refused to be their king, saying, "The Lord is your king." This story teaches that God can use anyone, even the fearful, even the ordinary. He can turn hidden people into heroes, if they trust him. Gideon started as a man hiding in fear, but God saw a warrior inside him. And through faith, that warrior was revealed. Moral: when God is with you, your weakness becomes strength. No battle is too big when faith leads the way.